The night was eerily quiet, almost unnaturally so, like the world was holding its breath. Officer Rachel Dawson, a woman known for her courage and unwavering kindness, parked her patrol car behind the old, flickering gas station on Route 47. A tip had come in about a suspicious van idling in the shadows, and Rachel, ever diligent, volunteered to check it out. She thought it would be nothing more than a careless driver, or someone seeking a place to sleep. But as the cold wind cut through her uniform and the streetlights flickered weakly above, a creeping sense of danger crawled along her spine. The van waited silently, its dark windows reflecting the dim glow of the station lights. Rachel stepped closer, her boots crunching against the gravel, heart pounding in the stillness. Suddenly, the sliding door of the van burst open. Shadows lunged at her, masked men, violent and fast. Her training kicked in, but they were too many, too aggressive. A metal pipe struck her ribs, sending a jagged shock of pain through her chest. She felt herself pulled to the ground, limbs flailing, every instinct screaming to fight. They dragged her behind a dumpster, the cold asphalt pressing against her skin. Her radio was smashed. The men whispered to each other in urgent, harsh tones about silencing her. One leaned close, his breath hot on her face, muttering, "She won't make it anyway," before they disappeared into the night, leaving her alone and broken. Rachel tried to move, to call for help, but her strength was gone. All she could think of was her daughter, Lily, asleep at home, unaware that her mother was lying battered behind a gas station. If you believe kindness and second chances still exist in this world, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It truly helps stories like this reach more hearts. Minutes passed, or perhaps hours' time blurred into darkness. What Rachel didn't know was that fate was already moving toward her in the form of roaring motorcycles. The Hells Angels, returning from a quiet charity ride, were cruising down the highway, unaware that a mechanical hiccup on Red's bike would lead them to this very place. Red, the group's unofficial heart, had felt his engine sputter and pulled into the gas station for a quick check. A small twist of fate, yet it would be the difference between life and death. As Red wandered behind the station, he noticed movement, a hand, a boot, a faint groan. His heart lurched. Rachel Dawson, a uniformed cop, lay beaten and vulnerable, shouting to the others. They quickly surrounded the area, their reputation as feared bikers momentarily replaced by something far more human: urgency, concern, and protection. Red knelt beside her, his hands rough but gentle, checking her pulse and shaking her lightly. "Stay with us," he said, voice trembling despite his imposing exterior. Emily, or rather Rachel, opened her eyes briefly, seeing only the shadowy figures that would save her life. Her lips tried to form words, but only a soft gasp emerged. The angels acted swiftly. Two stayed with her, using jackets to shield her from the chill, while others searched for the attackers, ensuring no one could return. Minutes later, sirens pierced the night. EMTs arrived to find the notorious bikers protecting a battered cop, an image that defied every stereotype. With care, they lifted Rachel onto the stretcher. Red refused to leave, riding behind the ambulance all the way to the hospital, pacing the waiting room, anxious for word of her condition. Rachel's injuries were severe: broken ribs, a fractured arm, deep bruises, and a concussion that left her disoriented. When she awoke, the first face she saw was not a fellow officer's but Red's, standing awkwardly with a cup of coffee he probably shouldn't have brought inside. Confused, she blinked, memories of the attack washing over her. The fear, the helplessness, the shadows, they threatened to drown her, but she had survived. Red, rough and unpolished, simply nodded. "You're safe now," he said. And somehow, that was enough. Over the next few days, Rachel learned the truth about her attackers. They were part of a criminal ring she had unknowingly interfered with during a routine traffic stop. They had come for her, ready to end a life that had intersected with theirs by chance. And yet, here she was, alive because a group society often feared had acted without hesitation to protect her. Red visited daily, bringing small comforts, snacks, books, chargers, proving that care isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's the quiet, consistent presence of someone who refuses to abandon you. When Rachel was discharged, the angels waited outside. Red handed her a small leather patch stitched with the words "guarded by angels." Rachel laughed softly, overwhelmed by gratitude. They didn't want recognition, didn't need praise. They had simply done what they felt was right. Weeks later, Rachel returned to duty. Her body still ached, but she insisted on confronting the alley behind the gas station, seeking closure. Red accompanied her. As she stood in the shadowed passage where death had almost claimed her, memories surged: the fear, the pain, the suffocating helplessness. Her knees trembled, but she remained upright. She whispered a quiet thanks to the universe for sending help in the most unexpected form, for giving her another chance at life, at motherhood, at being whole. In the months that followed, Rachel and the angels formed a unique bond. She saw them for who they truly were: not outlaws, not monsters, but flawed humans with hearts capable of immense loyalty and kindness. They believed in protecting the vulnerable and standing up for what's right, even when the world turned a blind eye. Rachel's perspective shifted. She became more compassionate, more aware, more grateful for every mundane moment. Each sunrise, each bedtime story with Lily, each shared laugh now carried a deeper weight. She understood the fragility of life, preciousness of second chances. Through her recovery and return to duty, Rachel often thought about that night behind the gas station. She realized heroes don't always wear the uniforms we expect. Sometimes they ride motorcycles, wear leather jackets, and carry the scars of their own battles. And sometimes their toughest exteriors conceal the gentlest hearts. Her life was forever changed, but in ways that didn't hurt. It strengthened her, grounded her, and reminded her that kindness exists in unexpected corners of the world. She carried with her a renewed belief in humanity, a faith that compassion can come from anyone, anywhere, and that even the most terrifying night can end in hope. If this story touched your heart even a little, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps more real, emotional stories reach those who need them. Before we end, please comment below: kindness still lives. It lets us know you were here, and that Rachel Dawson's story, her struggle, her rescue, and her survival meant something to you.